What if the creatures that already live in our walls, our sewers, and our cities suddenly woke up with human-level intelligence? I'm not talking about just cunning instinct. I mean memory, reasoning, and long-term planning. Think about it. Rats are born survivors. They thrive in every corner of the world, eat almost anything, and reproduce faster than most animals. Give them human intelligence, and they would instantly become one of the most powerful and unstoppable rival species on Earth. Rats already live in vast, hidden networks. Their tunnels, nests, and scavenging routes spread beneath our cities in ways most of us can't even imagine. With intelligence, those networks would transform into infrastructure. Sewers would become mapped highways. Subways would be potential fortresses, and abandoned buildings would turn into the hubs of organized colonies. They wouldn't just be hiding from us anymore. They'd be organizing entire underground societies that mirror our own, completely invisible right beneath our feet. The first thing to evolve would be communication. Right now, rats squeak and use scents to send basic signals. With human-level intelligence, those squeaks and scents could become a full-blown language. Imagine entire colonies using coded sounds to coordinate scavenging missions, or scent markers arranged like street signs to direct traffic underground. Rats already move in groups, but with language, they would become coordinated armies. Every trash pile, every grain silo, every restaurant alley could be monitored, mapped, and exploited by teams that know exactly what they're doing. And where there's language, culture isn't far behind. Intelligent rats could pass down knowledge not just by instinct, but through teaching. Elders could show younger rats how to avoid our traps, how to open containers, or how to exploit our weaknesses. Rituals could emerge. Ceremonies around major food scores, rankings of skilled scavengers, and traditions of alliances between families. Over generations, these rat societies could develop unique customs depending on where they live. A colony in New York might evolve completely differently from one in Tokyo or Lagos. For the first time, rats wouldn't just be pests. They would be people, with memory, identity, and a history. Their greatest strength? Numbers. Estimates suggest there are at least as many rats as there are humans on Earth, and possibly more. Each one waking up with a human-level mind would mean billions of intelligent beings rising overnight. Unlike gorillas or lions, which are limited by small populations, rats already outnumber us. Intelligence would just unlock their true potential. Humanity would suddenly find itself sharing the planet with a rival civilization just as large, maybe even larger, than our own. Their hunting and survival strategies would become terrifyingly efficient. Rats are opportunistic feeders, eating everything from grains and meat to garbage and even each other when resources get tight. With intelligence, food management would become deliberate. Colonies could farm fungus underground, raid storage facilities with military precision, or steal livestock strategically. They would no longer starve when food is scarce. They would plan, ration, and even trade. A single rat colony could operate like a miniature city-state, balancing its resources with its long-term survival in mind. And then there's innovation. Even with tiny paws, intelligent rats would be master problem solvers. They already know how to press levers and navigate mazes. With enhanced minds, they could manipulate objects far more effectively. Picture rats rolling small stones to trigger our traps safely, dragging twigs to block doors, or even training themselves to sabotage wires and machines. They wouldn't need human tools. Their strength would be in their numbers and their strategy. 100 intelligent rats could do what a single pair of human hands can't: dismantle, infiltrate, and overwhelm through sheer coordinated persistence. We would feel the change almost immediately. In our cities, food stores would be raided with unnatural precision. Electrical systems would fail from targeted gnawing. Traps would be avoided with eerie consistency. At first, it might all seem like a strange coincidence, but soon the patterns would become undeniable. Farmers would lose entire harvests in coordinated raids. Hospitals might find their power cut at critical moments. Even military bases could be infiltrated silently, with supplies disappearing into the night. This wouldn't be a random infestation. It would be sabotage, planned with cold, calculated purpose. Conflict would be unavoidable. Humanity has always waged war on rats with poisons and traps, but against intelligent rats, those methods would fail spectacularly. They could learn to identify poisoned bait, dismantle our traps, and even counterattack by spreading disease deliberately. They already carry pathogens like plague and leptospirosis. With intelligence, disease could become a weapon. Colonies might release infected individuals into human populations, weakening us before they move in to scavenge what's left. But not every rat society would choose war. Some colonies might try to negotiate. They could demand access to food in exchange for leaving our neighborhoods alone. Others might become allies, controlling insect populations or guarding against rival, more aggressive colonies. Can you imagine city officials striking deals with rat leaders, offering grain storage in exchange for peace, or sharing the sewers in exchange for protection? The line between pest and partner would blur, all depending on whether trust could ever exist between two such different species. The entire planet's ecology would be turned on its head. Intelligent rats wouldn't just scavenge, they would manage the ecosystems around them. They might control populations of mice, insects, or pigeons deliberately. They could drive away predators or even learn to train them. Cats, once their mortal enemies, could become pawns, manipulated with food and strategy. Entire urban ecosystems could shift, bent to the will of rat societies that outthink every other animal around them. The long-term view makes this scenario even more terrifying. Rats reproduce incredibly quickly. A single female can produce dozens of offspring each year, and new generations rise every few months. With intelligence, each new generation could inherit knowledge immediately, accelerating their learning at a rate humans could never hope to match. In just a single decade, rats could advance through centuries of progress. While we debate and hold meetings, they would be adapting, testing, and evolving. Our slow lifespans would become our greatest weakness against a species that learns at lightning speed. So, what would the world really look like if rats had a human IQ? Our cities would no longer belong to us. The streets and sewers would become shared territory. Every grain store, every home, and every farm would be contested ground. Some colonies would fight us, others would make deals with us, but all of them would demand our respect as equals. Humanity would no longer stand unchallenged at the top of the urban food chain. And the scariest part isn't their teeth or their diseases, it's their proximity. Rats already live in our walls. They already know our habits better than we know theirs. If they woke up with minds like ours, they wouldn't need to invade. They're already here, waiting, listening, and learning. So here's the real question. If rats had human intelligence, would we find a way to make peace with the new neighbors living inside our homes? Or would we find ourselves in a war we never saw coming? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that makes you think. See you in the next one.